So, yeah, I'm Serf. I'll give you an introduction to what the Zeitgeist movement is. This needs to go on, but why? I'll give you that. Zeitgeist is actually literally translated the spirit of the age, which means that it's the dominant paradigm and train of thought that we have in a particular time. And what are your values? What do you think is valuable today? What do we act on? And what do we move forward with? That is like the zeitgeist we are in today. And movement entails that we want to have change, or a movement away from actually the current paradigm, the current zeitgeist, because the zeitgeist movement thinks that the paradigm we are in now is not that sustainable. We want to move towards a more sustainable future. It is a sustainability advocacy group, and so we want to move into a more sustainable future. What is actually wrong with the current zeitgeist? As we see here, we have war, we have poverty, we have environmental destruction. So sustainability is not only environmental sustainability, it's also public health, human rights, and that's why we have a diversity of speakers here as well. Some of these issues have been going on for a long time now, and some people might think, and that's the zeitgeist today, that these are normality. We need poverty, we need inequality, right? Because there's maybe not enough to go around. Maybe our economic system forces us to use it as much as we need and to consume. That's why we have resource depletion. And yeah, maybe we are just intrinsically flawed in our human nature, so we need war. Some of these values consist throughout, but the Zeitgeist movement doesn't think that this is necessary. Actually, we think that all of these problems can be resolved, and we're working towards that. But in order to solve it, we really need to know what the root cause of all these problems is. So just take a little moment and think for yourself. If you look at these problems, what do you think is the cause of these problems? Is it maybe institutional corruption, like the big companies that are corrupted and destroy the environment and have human rights violations? Maybe there's absolute scarcity, that there's not enough to go around, so that's why we have the problems we see today. Or if we maybe have good policies around, maybe if everybody agreed on one policy and we get that through, society would work fine. Or maybe we are moral beings, right? But sometimes humans don't act morally. Maybe there's just a lack of moral fiber that ties in with maybe our human nature that is maybe greedy or competitive. Well, again, the Zeitgeist movement doesn't agree with these themes, as they are prevalent, but they are not the root cause of all these problems. We think it's the socio-economic structure itself. The rules and the things that are in place in our socio-economic system itself pressure us towards all these problems. And the problems we just saw, like the poverty and all of the things that I just showed, are mere symptoms of a system that's actually outdated with the current state of affairs, and actually the Earth as itself. Just one little example of these rules and why it's not congruent with the Earth today is the notion of consumption. Well, if you borrow down all economics to its root core and throw a lot of the theories that are behind it away, you get this, which is the owner that gets profit, the employee that is, works for the owner, gets a loan, and both of these are consumers and they spend into the system. And this cycle needs to be going. It's like a gas pedal in the car. The faster this goes, GDP rises, good, economic growth. But if this declines, we have economic degrowth and we have a loss of jobs, and politicians are held accountable. So what this means is that this structure that is set in place actually requires cyclical consumption to always continue. And that's why we have infinite growth. But maybe ask yourself if that's really congruent with an Earth that has finite resources. So with this little example, you already see that the Earth and its natural laws are not the same as the economic structure we apply to that. And this is just one example. If we look at the market economy, we have consumption, we have obsolescence, property, infinite growth, and a little bit more. It's based on scarcity and imbalance. And that's not the way we want it. Maybe preservation would be better, optimum design, access, actually a steady state economy. And if we try to work towards abundance, we can actually create equality. I have a presentation now only for a few minutes, and I cannot go into the specifics of this, but there are actually basically three themes. The failure of the market economy and the system itself, also the natural law resource-based economy, which is our solution that we propose, and also the transition towards that. But I suggest reading on this in the books we have and online. There are so many resources and lectures out there. Or you just watch the movie Zeitgeist Moving Forward and you will know really all about it already. But the question that always jumps to mind, well, how did we get there? Well, we have chapters all around the world that work towards creating an awareness of both the social system and something we can work towards. And actually we want to create an awareness and voice people that have good ideas that work towards this new social economic system. As a summary, the Zeitgeist movement, cool, that's on my shirt, right? That's nice. The scientific method applied to social concern could be termed what the Zeitgeist movement is working towards. We see the Earth as one whole and the human race as one family. That was nicely shown in the video today. So what do? We create awareness about the current system and how it actually does not work and see it as a root cause, because that's what really needs to go. Create awareness about a possible future, alternative and a sustainable future. And we give voice and support projects that will get us there. And that's why we have quite some lovely speakers here. And I emphasize create because of this quote by Buckminster Fuller. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. I want to thank you very much and enjoy the other speakers.